Thanks again. I want to turn to an audience question to start off this block. Christopher Harlig from Scottsdale, Arizona. Senator McCain, this one's for you.
Good evening, Senators. Senator McCain, as a constituent of your state, I want to know if you are doing everything in your power to investigate any claims of foreign interference in our electoral process or in our government itself. And if you are, what do you recommend to those of us who are very concerned about this issue?
Well, first of all, as the areas of responsibility that I have as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, we're looking into certain military aspects of it. I have argued that because of the gravity of the situation, if the Russians had succeeded in determining the outcome of our election, that is a death blow to democracy. And so I believe that we needed a select committee in order to investigate that. Now, on the other allegations, the intelligence committees are looking at it, and I'd like to give them a chance to examine the facts and come up with some conclusions before I leap to the need for a whole new special committee. When you set up a special committee, there has to be, it's a long process, and so I'd like to give this a chance. But have no doubt, what the Russians tried to do to our election could have destroyed democracy. And that's why we've got to pay a hell of a lot more attention to the Russians and the things that they're doing in Europe. And right now, they're trying to affect the outcome of the French election. And they're using cyber, which, by the way, brings up cyber. We are way behind in cyber.
Senator, that is obviously one area that the intelligence agencies say that they're confident that Russia tried to meddle in U.S. elections.
We need to know how. We need to know the methods they use. We need to know how we can counter. There's a whole lot we need to learn about what they did.
No question. But the second sort of area of investigation is whether or not there was any discussion, collusion, and so forth between the Trump campaign and the Russians. I want to tell you, Senator Graham, that the Washington Post has new reporting out just a few moments ago that Jeff Sessions, former senator, now the Attorney General, also a campaign advisor to Donald Trump, spoke twice last year with Russia's ambassador to the U.S. Encounters that he did not disclose during his confirmation hearing. If true, is a special prosecutor needed now?
Well, number one, don't worry about John and Lindsey Graham and others looking into Russia, because Russia's not our friend. President Trump, I want to help as much as I can because he's got a mess on his hands. He seems to get Iran right. He seems to get ISIL right. This nut job in North Korea, he understands the threat. When it comes to Russia, he has a blind spot. The bottom line is that Putin is disrupting democracy everywhere. Democracy is an enemy to every strong man in the world, including Putin. If there were contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials, they may be legitimate, they may be okay. I want to know what happened between the Trump campaign, the Clinton campaign, and the Russians. Because today is the Russians, tomorrow it could be the Iranians. And to my Republican friends, we should have no joy in our heart that the Russian efforts hurt Hillary Clinton, even though they didn't change the outcome. I promise you, we could be next when it comes to the Iranians and to the Chinese. So I'm on the Judiciary Committee with Senator Whitehouse. I promise you, we're going to look at everything Russia. If there were campaign contacts between the Russians and the Trump campaign, I want to know about them.
Senator, you say you're on the Judiciary Committee. Your committee and, of course, the full Senate supported Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
He's now the top law enforcement official in this country. If he didn't disclose what he apparently did during the campaign, what do you make of that?
Well, I don't know. It may be an innocent contact. I don't know if he has to disclose everybody he's ever talked to. A special prosecutor.
I think we have to know more about it before we can make a judgment.
Special prosecutor meaning there should be one?
Here's the deal. I don't know if there's anything between the Trump campaign and the Russians. I'm not going to base my decision based on newspaper articles. The FBI, if they're looking into this, and they make Comey shouldn't decide whether or not to prosecute. I've never understood why the FBI director in the Clinton case made the decision not to prosecute. That should be a prosecutor's decision. If there is something there, and it goes up the chain of investigation, it is clear to me that Jeff Sessions, who is my dear friend, cannot make this decision about Trump. So there may be nothing there, but if there's something there that the FBI believes is criminal in nature, then for sure you need a special prosecutor. If that day ever comes, I'll be the first one to say it needs to be somebody other than Jeff.
I just want to ask a follow-up on a related issue. The New York Times is also reporting tonight that in the final days of the Obama administration, some White House officials, Obama White House officials, scrambled to spread information across the government about Russian efforts to undermine the 2016 election, including information about possible contacts between Russians and associates of Donald Trump. Was that appropriate?
From what you're telling me, and it's really kind of hard to make judgments
I understand.
then that